Hi, I'm Pro Lego Channel, and I'm better at Lego than you. There's been a lot recently of people in the Lego community with really bad takes, a lot of cringy things, and I don't want to be like a commentary channel and like report on all these, but some of these come through, and I feel like we gotta discuss them. So let's look at one today. This is a post, and hey, straight up, the people in here with these bad opinions, don't be mean to them. They obviously don't know, but this post, it's number 30 of the top 50 rarest Lego items in my collection. It's my monochrome collection, and it says that they were purchased in the waves before the fakes started being produced from the factories. The first one that they got predates 2010s from a Lego employee. Sadly, the authenticity and rarity of these pieces is now devalued by copious fakes. So now these are just a special piece in my collection. Estimated value? Estimated quantity? So it's this post, and there's a lot of comments here, and there's a lot of people with like the correct take, and there's a lot of people with bad takes. So this first poster, Question Man, comes in, and he says, question you might know the answer to. How does Lego allow all these legal made monochrome figures to be made with their factories with their stamps on them? Like, there has to be some way to stop it. And so this next person comes out with some wild accusations that just are not true. They have attempted to stop that, but even some higher ranking employees like managers or supervisors are involved. My theory is they can't seem to get it under control is because the Mafia is involved. And when one employee gets caught illegally making these or sneaking them out of the factory, the Mafia has another guy waiting to be employed. In one of the most corrupt countries in the world, it's hard to get criminal activities under control. So that's just wild. First of all, they don't say what country they're talking about. If they're talking about Mexico, China, Denmark, I don't know. But there's no way the Mafia is involved with these. They're selling for $10 online, one minifigure. And how many could they possibly be getting that it's worth a Mafia involvement? Mafias are out there, you know, mafia-ing and making way more money than that, I would hope. So the answer to the original question is, how is Lego allowing it? It's because they're making them. Maybe they're not supposed to be leaving the factory in the quantities there are, but they're making them. Every time they come out with a new type of plastic, they test it, and what better way to test it on than a minifigure? And you've got to run a full batch, or at least a handful, you know? The molds don't just have one piece in them. So they make a dozen or 2 dozen, and they put them in the stress test machines, and they check and see if they're good enough to work. And should they be out in the public? Probably not. Are they here? Yes, they are 100% made, I believe, by Lego for testing purposes, and from there it gets a little cloudy, but it's just the same as the guy's original post where he got them from an employee. This guy has a fine opinion. He says, when Lego has a new color, brick shape, and or formula for the plastic, they run test molds. Every combination gets made and quality checked. Employees are allowed to pick a brick when testing is done. 1, 2, 3. And then a guy comes in and says, it's a good one to justify the fakes, but no please. Which is like the wildest assumption. You could be like, you're just justifying, you're just coping. And actually, the other guy is the one that's coping. They've got something in their collection that they've decided makes them more worthy to decide if these are real or not. Or maybe they don't even. But they've decided that they're fake and they're not good. And the original person here is saying they're just coming out of the factory. They're not supposed to be, but it's what's happening, which is the correct assumption. There's no reason to assume that the Mafia's involved. There's no reason to assume they're fake. There's no reason to assume anything other than general pick-a-brick. I want to hear your guys' opinion on all of this. Post what you think, how they're getting out, what you think these people mean by stuff they're saying, because some of it's so wild. Let me know if you think that they're coping, or if they're cringe, or if they're just right. If anyone's spitting straight truth, I guess post it. Let me know. This next one here says, the difference between them are the picture that was posted is genuine prototype molds. They were used to test the molds of minifigures as well as test possible air entering the figures due to the transparent helmet. What transparent helmet would show as bubbles? These figures are also made of polycarbonate, a very fragile plastic, purely used for tests and prototype. They were given out to employees once their use had expired. They were around way before the new wave of transparent figures arrived. The new wave of transparent Lego figures are genuine, meaning they were made in the factory, but they are purposely made purely to sell on. They are also made only in one specific factory. They are also made of plastic called MABS, which is much more sturdy than the original transparent prototypes. Hope this helps. So this person's got a lot of things wrong, I think. First of all, you can't tell if they're PC or MABS. If they are MABS, I don't know what the hell that is. They could be. Maybe they are, the new ones. Yeah. But that's more of a reason why they would be making test runs of them, is because they're testing new plastic. Sure, the original ones may have been tested to check if there was helmets, if there were air bubbles or transparent flaws or something. But, like, Lego's not allowed to use polycarbonate anymore anyways, I'm told. So they've got to be using newer materials, which would make sense. And again, means that they would have to make a bunch to test, which means some are going to be getting out of the factory. I don't think it's really a big deal. Anyone who's collected these is probably in the wrong because they're technically Lego parts, but they're probably not part of the system. So in conclusion, I think that these are very much real. I don't think that anyone's out there running home molding runs without Lego knowing. If they're running them for the purpose of giving out the figures, Lego has to know. They have controls in place. They've got security in their factories. They know what's going on in there. So if it's going on, they're at least complacent, and that means that they're just as real as anything else out on the market. If they're not being made in the Lego factory, that's a whole nother conversation, and if they can prove that, I would love to see it, but so far it hasn't been. So there's still a lot of mystery and a lot of rumors surrounding these, but I just thought we'd talk about some of the most wild ones. I want to give a big shout out to the channel members that make me make videos like this. God of Grunts, Tyler S, Dion B, SPC Cheeseburger, Pelegoken, Crystal J, and Galcio. Thank you all for being here, and I hope that you guys have all appreciate that I'm doing this hard-hitting journalism. Anyways, this is the end of the video, so click on something. There's videos on the screen, one by a robot, one by me, you'll never know. And, subscribe, because I'm going to be making more videos eventually, and you made it all the way here, so support your local Lego channel.